All right, hello. Super Bowl final. Just got done watching it. Load of rubbish. Um, Obviously, my local team, the Chiefs, did not look very good at all. I mean, to be quite honest, they don't look that good in the majority of their games running up to it. Which, so it's not saying a lot that they lost. If you were picking a team out based on who looked better running up to it, you'd pick the Eagles. Um, but I felt like the Chiefs had better symbolism, for the idea of rebirth. But again, when you're dealing with these two things here, okay, I've got the Chiefs sitting as the phallic symbolism, okay, and then the Eagles here um, is the metaphysical, yeah, because if you look at we've got the pyramid behind the upward arrow here of the Chiefs, okay, and then the spread eagle here makes the womb with its wings, okay. So this eagle, which is the Eagles, and the whole thing with the Stargate right now, okay. Um, Very interesting with the idea of energy being passed from this thing here over to this thing, okay. I mean, if you look at, well, what do I say? If you look at this symbolism with the Stargate, yeah, we've got this on the back of the dollar bill as well. We had this actually at the halftime show as well. We'll talk about that in a minute, but this energy. I don't know if it's necessarily energy being passed up through into there, or because what's going on is there has to be a balance reached between these two energies, so to speak. And really, what this is this is the gateway into the metaphysical. So what you're really dealing with is you're dealing with just mirrors of each other here. So of course, you have Mahomes put on the cross. He was crucified in the game, and then you have the rebirth of the Matrix at that point. This thing has to die in order to allow this thing to be reborn. This thing here, the Matrix, is essentially created by us in the physical. The false ego has to die in order. So again, Mahomes was humbled, and that thing has to die in order for this thing to be reborn. Okay, I don't know if you're following that, but so you can kind of wangle these stories around, but we're dealing with essentially the same symbolism. The upward triangle and the downward triangle. Okay, they're the same symbolism. One's the phallic symbolism and one's the womb. Okay, they're just mirrors of one another. So again, it's this idea of trying to predict something is you could tell that story the other way around and it would still work. If the other team had won, you could tell the story the other way around and it still works. But anyway, if we go to just the dollar bill and we just look at the dollar bill, the decode becomes fairly easy after the fact. We have the one right here. Look at the colors of the dollar bill. The green here, and then if we go to the other side of the dollar bill, the black, and then of course the number one man for Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, the quarterback, wearing the number one shirt. Again, I'm like, what? Well, the game's going on. What shirt's he wearing? What shirts and my daughter's like number one. I'm like, I probably should have. She said I asked her that before, but obviously I didn't compute or whatever, or I don't know. I've talked about this dude before though, being number one, but it just goes in one ear and out the other, so to speak. And so of course you're sitting there and you think, ooh, yeah, he's got the number one shirt. They got the colours of the dollar bill. all references back to this thing, yeah, and the I think and the encoding that is on this bill, okay, and where we're going at some point eventually is the destruction of this, okay, and this is kind of the quintessential representation of America, really, so to speak. This idea of the world currency, the dollar bill, such an iconic thing. What else was I going to say about this? The halftime show was kind of funny. Let me show you something here new. So the halftime show was, they had, I believe it was something set up like this. Okay, it was like a game controller. Actually, that was pointing down towards this, and then they had I believe it was looked like a street set up, I think, which was kind of interesting. The idea of Marty when he does his final leap home, and then of course they had at the end of the halftime thing, they had game over, and obviously this is a game controller. Okay, so I had the game over, which is kind of ironic because the game was already over at this point. And he also has the song, I'm talking about Kendrick Lamar now, he has the song Turn the TV Off or something like that. And ironically, you could have turned the TV off at this point because it was game over. At the start of the thing, I missed the first few seconds, and it looked like they had, I asked my wife to turn up the TV and she flipped the channel. We couldn't get back on the right channel. But it looked like they had the tic-tac-toe set up, which of course is a War Games reference. Okay, yeah, War Games, game over, War Games. Are you getting? Oh dear, oh dear. You're getting the reference here. So this idea of the game playing this, to me it was just a reference. The whole thing was just a reference to the idea of War Games. Okay. And we also had one other thing as well. If you haven't seen the film War Games, the two targets in the film for thermonuclear annihilation is Vegas, Las Vegas, and Seattle. Says Seattle. Okay. What else to say? This thing, we had the pyramid again, and the ring. This is the Stargate again, right here on this end of the controller, which was pretty interesting. I think he finished it over here somewhere. I don't quite know. I wasn't really paying. I mean, I was watching it, but he did do these two. I'm pretty sure he did these two first, and then moved over to here, and then moved down to here, and then it was game over. So it's interesting, isn't it? Maybe we're getting close to game over. What more to say about it? Sorry, this is such a mess, but I'm thinking. I think I'm gonna leave it there for the video. I don't think there's really anything else to say. Yeah, this idea of the Stargate opening again, which is the dam breaking open. Okay. We're gonna be in a world of hurts. In a world of hurt soon, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Nothing else to add. I'm gonna leave it there. Okay. Thanks for watching. Right. Cheers. Right, bye.